don't know if you've seen, listen, another controversial opinion here, stirring it pot a bit.
Do it.
Like I feel like if you're in an academy, every young kid sets an Instagram account up.
Yeah. It's like the real stuff, isn't it? Again,
under eights at Chef Wednesday. Like,
what do you think actively helps development compared to hindering it? I think this is a hot topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know, this is where we get interested now. But no.
Stay up for this one.
Yeah, got it, aren't you? Right then. Right guys, welcome in. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Game Within the Game podcast. I've got a really good episode today. One of the ones I've been really excited about bringing, to be honest with you, because I think these two lads sat next to me, alongside myself, I'd like to say, are brilliant coaches. We are really, really passionate about what we do. We really love, what it brings to players, what it brings to young kids. And I think today we're going to have a good debate on talking all different topics, ranging from how parents influence us, how sessions are different from player to player and things like that. Just a really good open conversation from three people who've got their own little businesses as well. So yeah, I'll start off by obviously with yourself, Mitch. Do you want to talk about, how you got to where you are now and a little bit about you, bud?
yeah, so my name's Mitch from Carlton Coaching. We're based in Sheffield. Coaching journey started about 4 years ago. So funny story how it started actually. So I come back from America playing football. Didn't know what I was going to do. Obviously COVID come about, which were obviously different for some people, but I applied for a coaching job and didn't realise where it were. So I finished playing footy at 19, and I didn't know what to do. So next minute I applied for a coaching job, sent an email out, and then looked at it and went, hold on a minute, where's that? Looked again, it was in Liverpool. So I was like, all right. So didn't know what to do. So anyway, took plunge, went and started coaching there for a business called Tom Owens UK. Had to drop that in because it was life-changing, to be fair.
Top coach though, isn't he?
Yeah, great Tom. Great coach, great place to be. And then come back to Sheffield, actually set plans on moving to Australia to coach over there as well. Mrs. got pregnant, ended up starting a life in Sheffield again, and then started up Carlton Coaching, and then it's been going ever since. So yeah,
good
loving
man.
it.
Nice one, yeah. And why did you come back then? So I'll sort of give you that first question, is what was the reason you came back to Sheffield and sort of developed your own thing? What were the reasoning for that?
Yeah, so I think I always had my eyes set on doing it. Even when I was coaching in Liverpool, things were going well, obviously come back to Sheffield, and then when I found out that we were having a baby, it was like that finger, and obviously people listening or us as coaches, you go all in, and I don't like to go 50-50 in something. So I said to my partner, I said, listen, I'm just going to go for it. It would probably, is there a good time to do it? I don't know, but I just went for it, and that was it. Then I thought, this is it, Carlton Coaching, let's go.
No, good on you, mate. And like I say, you've got success from that, haven't you, as well? And we'll go into that a little bit more. To my left, obviously, I've got Ross here. So do you want to do the same, mate, and talk about who you are and how you got to where you are, pal?
Yeah, so my name's Ross Barrows. Play football for Scunthorpe United, and then own Ross Barrows Coaching. So first of all, started coaching from being 17, I'd say, but did a lot of kind of one-to-ones and private coaching as a player growing up. And then when I went kind of into part-time football to start with, I needed a kind of an extra job. And at the time I was working at Tesco and didn't really fancy doing that. I didn't really enjoy doing that. So always wanted to be involved in football. So kind of one of my old coaches asked me to come and do some helping out at holiday camps and stuff like that, and then end up kind of working for him. And he was one of my academy coaches when I was in the academy, when I was younger. And then ended up working for him, and he did my one-to-ones growing up. So I ended up working for him and then coaching their development centre and things like that. And then when I went full-time with football, I kind of had to leave there because I couldn't do it. And then I got asked to do some coaching at Kickabout Performance Centre, which is now closed, unfortunately. But got asked to do some one-to-ones there, and I ended up coaching a grassroots team as well, which is a funny story how I fell into that. Kind of got thrown on me. Asked to come and help out, pick a few cones up and whatever. And then ended up saying, I'm leaving. Can you help out? Yeah, sound
one of them ones.
And then just kind of went from there really with coaching. And when Kickabout shut, I had a pretty decent client base and everyone was asking me about sessions and things like that. So I decided just to take the plunge and go on my own and start from there.
Brilliant. And I think it's important to mention as well, because I think we'll talk about this quite a bit today between all three of us, but obviously you're a player at the minute, aren't you? So you play at Scunthorpe, that's right. Yeah. So obviously from a debate perspective, obviously we've all come through a little bit of a different journey, haven't we? And I think that's important to mention straight away. So myself, and I'll go on to me in a minute, but I'm a bit more educational based, so I think I've come through doing my UAFB quite early, got my degree in it and things like that, whereas yourself, you've got a bit of, good playing experience as well, Mitch, haven't you? And Ross obviously still an active player, so I think that's going to give a good comparison with all the questions, definitely. Yeah, of course. I think that's an important one to raise. I'll just go on to myself a little bit. So I'm very similar, obviously, from a perspective of I've done this for a long time now. I think similar to you, Ross, where I was like 17 years old. I know I've had a podcast before, but obviously mentioning sort of like where I'm at with my stuff is good to put there. I went through a bit more of the educational side, as I mentioned. So for me, I sort of found love for it, I'd say, when I was at college. I started coaching. My first ever session, I always remember this, was I worked at Western Park Hospital and I was volunteering for the disability sector within Sheffield United Community Foundation. And I always remember that session because I went up and there was this one guy and he was called Adam and he suffered quite badly and severely with mental health condition. And I was only a young kid at the time and I was coaching, 25 plus year old adults, and Adam, bless him, were about 50. He used to come on his bike and basically just put an easy session on for him, just like game stuff, really simple. But the love that they got for it, I think, was just massive. And I think that's another thing, isn't it, what we'll go on to, especially about why we are so passionate and the reaction that we get out of players. I think that for me, that feeling I just bought into straight away, I absolutely love that, the way that someone had come off that session, and Adam specifically come off that session and absolutely love it. And that would just kind of started the ball rolling. Obviously went on early doors to get my level 2. I got that luckily through college. And then obviously I went on to do my UAFB about 2 years after, I think. And then after that, went to university. I've got a degree now in football coaching, admin and development. I went through a little bit more of an educational route instead of playing. And obviously it's good to see how that comparison will come to life a little bit more in a bit. Awesome. So that was kind of like my background. I've given a little bit more in my previous pod, so I don't want to go too much into me. So first question then, I'll come back to you, Mitch. So obviously I want to sort of shape sort of like what you're about a little bit more. So obviously I know you've given a good rundown there already, but I want you to just go into the depth a little bit about your whys and your reasoning if you can. So my first question is, what is the main non-negotiable belief that your coaching you believe is built on, and where did it come from?
Yeah, so mine, we actually have some agreements at Carlton Coaching. So whether you do one-on-ones or groups, all players follow like an agreement. Okay. And I don't need to name all 4, but we have 4 of them. The first one we have is respect. Because for me, especially, and obviously you can both obviously relate to it, I think when we coach football, it goes beyond football a lot of the time. It can be life-changing to some kids that we probably coach. Yeah. But for me, I think respect's something that it's something that for me, obviously Ross will know as well, playing at a high level of football, if you don't have respect for your coach, for other teammates, for your parents, you can't go anywhere. Yeah. So I think for me, we could do football drills all day, all 3 of us, and passing, receiving, dribbling, but if they've got no respect for me or for the parents or for the grassroots coach, for me, it's just a waste of time. So we have a rule where they have to shake hands, and it's like if they don't shake hands, they have to do a run. Yeah. So it's like little things like that. I can
relate to that as well, because I suppose just going, batting through, get him Ross jumping if you want to, but similar to me. So end of a session, we have a thing where we do an high five. Yeah. But they've got to come in on entry point. They've got to come in, high five every coach, and they've got to go and then do it to the players at the end of the session as a respect thing. And every player's got to do it to each other. And if I see one walking away, I've done it with them. Yeah, and it's massive, isn't it? And like you say, if you haven't got that respect sort of point of view, then it won't ever work, will it? Yeah. How do you imply that as well?
It's funny you say that, because my grassroots team that I coach, under 15s, Thorncliffe, we do that before every session, at the end of every session. Cool. And even though you got 16 plus players and coaches, even if we've had a bad result or it's not been a great training session or in pre-season where we're doing fitness and it's tough and you're having those grueling sessions, I think it just builds togetherness. Yeah, it builds massive togetherness. From a team scenario, it builds massive togetherness. And like I said, that respect for each other, you know what, you've done well tonight, you've worked hard, you give everything for everybody else to improve as well, which I think is important.
Yeah. And again, it goes beyond football. Like you hear some parents go like, "Oh, I started shaking hands at school," and it is more than football. Yeah. And obviously, we're all hard-working people. We demand hard work from us players, and that's obviously another non-negotiable for me. But I think respect's probably the highest.
Got to be up there, hasn't it? Yeah.
One of the
like
highest.
You say, it goes further than football, like you said, though, and doesn't it? And I think I always like to talk about, when I speak about that to my players, is realism of like, not to knock people's vision and ambition, but we've got to be honest here, aren't we? And say, like, most players that we coach aren't going to make it in the game at a top level, because it's the most difficult game to be that high up. But again, you're one of them who will know that.
Well, even in the Premier, it's like what 0.0
exactly. I know. So maybe one out of the 100 plus that we're coaching are going to make it somewhere. Yeah. So for me, I think it's so important that you can imply them life skills as well, so that they do remember you in a different department, for example, at school, and they go, no, they're a lot more respectful now and they appreciate it. And that for me is another massive win because we're not just technical coaches. And I think I can definitely say for you two as well that your application to your players is way bigger than just the technical side.
Like you said there, with it being more than football, we don't just want to be football coaches. We want to be life coaches as well.
Totally agree.
Because we're a big thing on working hard in everything you do. Working hard. So even if you don't go on to make it as a footballer, you're still going to have that ethos of, I'm going to work hard in whatever job I go and do, and try and strive to be successful in whatever job I go and do. If that's washing cars, you want to be the best at washing cars.
Yeah, love that.
And really work hard at it. So it's finding that balance of not just being a football coach, but also life coach as well, and giving them those life skills to help them go forward. And like you said, hopefully you see them walking down the road in 10, 15 years' time and they go, you know what, you really helped me there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just the small wins like that.
Yeah, and I think, like I say, it goes because it's going further than the football pitch. It's something that we can feel really proud of then as well, can't we? When we see it, and like you say, if you do see someone and they haven't made it, but they do, I remember that, and I'm really passionate because of how you are and your visions and things like that. And I think that's so important. And so yeah, just going on to mine, I'd say mine is probably an effort thing. So I have a big statement. I just go, what do I expect from you? And it's 100%. I just make them say that word every single time, every session, and it does relate a lot to respect. Yeah, I think part of respect is trying, and effort is massive obviously on that department, because I think that is disrespectful when I see a player come down, and I've used the comment before, and it might be a controversial thing to say this, but when a player's come in and they're really not giving everything, I'll go, do you think this session's free? You're coming in here, your parents are paying good money for you to be at this session. I mean, don't get me wrong, we know we're charging for one-to-ones and group sessions. I go, you're disrespecting your parents by coming here and not giving it. They expect you to come here maybe only an hour a week and put it in, and you're not doing that. Not just that you're disrespecting your parents, but you're disrespecting yourself as well. So you're not giving yourself the opportunity to learn, develop, and all them things. So it does reflect quite well on respect. And like I say, it's totally, I totally agree with that. I think that's a massive part of it. But for me, energy and putting the effort in, whether it be in a drill, whether it be in, like you say, shaking hands and not just walking away with face on, that's massive for me. That's absolutely essential for every session.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing I'd say for us, we've kind of got two. We've kind of got like from a footballing side and then from like a psychological side. I think from a psychological side for us, it's being coachable. I think that's one of the biggest things you can have as a young player, as a person, is being coachable, being open to learn, being able to take on new ideas and try and put it into practice. Not saying you're going to get perfect every time, but want to listen, want to learn, want to improve. Because if you don't, and you think you know it all straight away, and listen, I'm not saying I know it all, because I'm still learning every single day, but from someone who's got a little bit more experience than some of the younger players, and all you're doing is trying to help them, I think they have to be coachable. You've got to want to improve and learn and take in every single little bit of knowledge. I think that's one thing that's helped me in my footballing career, but also coaching career, is when I was younger, whatever coach was talking or whoever they was talking to, I made sure I was listening. I made sure I was listening, because knowledge is power.
Definitely.
Because if you're talking, Mitch is talking about playing centre mid and I play at full back, I'm going to listen to that information, because if I have to go and play in there, or I'm playing a pass to somebody in there, I need to know what they want, how they want it, and things like that. And also for me as a coach, I want to learn that, because if I'm coaching then a centre midfielder, I want to learn.
Yeah, brilliant idea, yeah.
I think ego gets in the way with some people, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
Like, even at academy football, like, it would constantly ask questions.
Yeah.
And even if you feel like you do know everything, just ask a question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes now, like coaching young people, like you say, like ego gets in the way a little bit sometimes with some people, because they might play at a good level of football, or they might be top goal scorer in division. You
even see that down the ranks for kids as well, though, don't you? Where they already have a mindset of, I already know this.
And
some people are just very difficult to get through to.
Yeah.
And it is a problem, because that, I always say, and just following on from what you said, Ross, I think that's a great point, obviously being coachable, but there's no knowledge what you can be told which is not useful. Because even if you don't agree, that should spark a bit of a, right, I need to go and reflect on that. Does that matter? Does it not? I'm never going to devalue, for example, what another coach does and go, no, that's not good enough because I do it this way. I think that's just it's that closed mindset, isn't it? It goes into a bigger picture of like, and if you're like that as a coach, then obviously it's going to come off on the kids. But like you say, I think that's great that you
like when,
put it in that you do
when
that.
Haaland won Champions League and he asked Henry a question after.
Yeah.
Like, can I score more goals?
Yeah.
Like, he just won I'm sure it was Champions League.
It was, yeah.
And he just won a Champions League for City. And Henry's obviously on like interviewing thing, and he asked Henry like, how can I score more goals?
Yeah.
Like straight after.
No.
And that's like one of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah.
Asking for advice after he's just won treble.
And that's quite a good quote. I'm glad you've said that actually, because my next sort of question following on from that would be, how do you all apply it? So how would you, so just going back to you, Ross, how would you apply that practical, I suppose, understanding of how to be coachable? Because obviously it's a great thing to say we want. How do you get your player, if let's say you've got that example of they're not very, you could argue difficult parents maybe just growing up in a scenario where they've not had to really learn in that way. How would you get that across to them if they haven't got it?
I think it's kind of the small wins. So giving little bits of detail, and then when they then start to see the proof of that, really hammering that home and saying, look, I'm telling you to do this, and you can see the benefits of how it's helping you and improving you, and making them see that. When they see it, they then start to believe it. And I think one thing as well is building that relationship with the player, of they then start to trust you. Because I think to be coachable, that player then has to still trust you as well, because it's kind of that relationship. If a player doesn't trust me, then they aren't going to want to listen. So by me showing them, by doing good demonstrations, by giving them the knowledge, and then them seeing it improve, and me coaching well and seeing the benefits, they see the benefits, then they start to go, actually, I want to learn more, I want to listen more. But then it's also, like I said, the psychological side of saying, listen, whatever you do in life, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Because you might take it into that part of life, you might take it into that part of life, and they might take it into school and do it in school.
Absolutely.
And they go, oh, actually, and then the mindset starts to change, So it's just little things like that.
Love that. What about yourself?
I think it's hard as well, because we've all probably done this in past as well. As coaches, sometimes, especially running the business side of things, you sometimes want to get like cool videos or like cool reels of players, and it makes them look good. But sometimes, and you're doing it for like, you might do it for a bit of content, and we've all done it in past. But I think for me, some of our set at players, I'm not here to make you look good, especially in a one-on-one environment. Like, my job as a coach isn't for you to come after this hour and go, I look so good, didn't I, Mitch?
Yeah.
Like, I want to push them to limits where I have to coach them. So like being coachable for me, I know it's hard, but like if we were to take control as a coach, we've got to do something that we can coach, because I think sometimes it's hard that we might do sessions or plan drills where they look good and there's not much to coach, and player just is sat there feeling good, doing everything right, but we've got to push them to limits where they've got to use their weak foot, or they can't connect with a volley, so we've got to test them with a bouncing ball. Do you know what I mean? So I think sometimes for me, it's like, it's not forced, but I'll do drills where I've got to coach them.
I think a big thing that goes in with that is we're big on detail, coaching detail. I think what I find a lot is, I've seen you mention it before, and it's something that always sticks with me as well, is there's a difference between a training session and a coaching session.
Absolutely.
So depends what you want in as a player. If you're wanting a training session to look good and just go through little bits and think you know it all, don't want to learn, then that's perfect for you. If you want to get coached and learn and get detail, get good information that's going to improve you as a player, improve your knowledge, improve your game of little details and things like that, really looking at that individual and going, right, how can we improve you here? Can you do this? Can you do that? That's the big difference.
Yeah.
Is that?
And I actually think, to be honest with you, I think I struggle with that a little bit when it comes to an high-level player. So, for example, when like, I think that's a good point you made about training to a coaching session, because when you have a pro comes in, and especially when I had the summer, and I had a few come in, and I'm sure you two did as well, they're kind of them sessions, aren't they, where it's just like a motion session. You're just getting them through it, aren't you? You're not really, you know that they're not going to want like that high-level detail, they're just getting into the motions. And I think that approach is dead different to sort of how we would do our day-to-day business, because we know that them younger kids need a lot more detail, and they need that coaching session, as you like. So I think the approach does differ for sure. And for me, just from a detail perspective, it's making sure that you're always understanding the player as much as possible, and just going back to obviously what you said as well, Mitch, about, obviously from an attitude perspective and a respect perspective, it's knowing what you're going to get from them as well. I think that's important, is seeing what does that player want, and then get that respect back. I think, Waldron, for me, I always speak about Waldron a lot, but like, he's a very good example of someone I really believe respects me from an high level point of view. and I know the sort of level of what he needs then from that. So it's like, right, okay, do you just want a motion session? Let's call it that. You know, just a standard train. So just
Going
get
through
you
the bits,
exactly, because you kind of then go, right, we'll just tick the boxes. Whereas if he wants coaching, and the one example I can bring up where he were struggling with like a whipping ball, we just did the whole hour on that. You know, and it's a very different structure, isn't it? I think that's again, it's probably more easier with the higher level players who'll get that, but I think that's important to stay.
You've set the standard though there, haven't you?
For sure, yeah.
Like I think it comes like you've set a standard where he respects you, you built a relationship with him, and that's when coaching comes a little bit easier, I'd say, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, because you've set the standard yourself as a coach.
You find that a lot about, like you said there, what you said, your previous point about people put videos on to kind of, for the player to look good and look good. If I'm not actually coaching, I'm not doing my job. Because anyone can put a training session on, go on YouTube and put a training session on. But I want to coach. I'm here to coach, to improve you. You know what I mean? I'm not Ross Barrow's training sessions and Ross Barrow's coaching.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm here to coach you, give you the detail and give you the information. So I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. So at times, I think it's helping the players understand that listen, at times I am going to be honest with you that you need to do this better. You got to work harder. You need to do this. And sometimes the players need that because I think in this day and age, everyone wants to post all the good things and they don't like being told, you need to do this better. You need to do this better. And I think it's getting that respect of the players know that I'm doing that because I care about them and I want them to be better. Absolutely. Not because I'm saying it because I don't like them. I'm doing it because I want the best for them. I mean, for me, I want to be able to sit in 40 years time, 30 years time in a boozer watching Sky Sports and someone I've coached playing coming on. Yeah, or I'll get a call, Ross, I've got you a ticket. And you go, it's all worth it.
I love that.
That's the reason why.
Yeah. And it, like I said, just following on from that as well, like you say, it's not the drill. If you can go as simple as that, it's not the drill what coaches them, is it? You know, you could use the same drill for so many different coaches, and every one of them would get a different outcome on their player. Like yourselves, I'd like to say all three of us could give you 2 cones and 1 ball, and you still create something special for any level of player because you know how to coach properly. Whereas, I don't want to throw anyone on the bus, but you see coaching sessions where there's like 1,000 bits of equipment, there's flat markers, cones, mannequins everywhere, and it's like, it looks hard work itself. Not even. And how do you input that? You must be coaching a million and one instructions, and it kind of gets off tangent. And that's probably something as well I want to touch on later on structure. Is how far in depth do we go with coaching the actual drill? Because I find myself sometimes, I'll be honest, where I've done a drill and I'm like, God, this has got way too many steps to it. And you end up going off tangent. And you're spending 10 minutes on instruction. And you completely, because you can't get coaching if they ain't got it. It's like that understanding side of things, isn't it? So, that's another one what you could go on all day about. But listen, great stuff, lads, obviously, from that point of view. So, following on, I think this is a good one to follow on. I'm going to skip the second little point first, and we'll go back to that, which is structure. But I want to talk about, I know you mentioned relationships. So, obviously, I want to speak about that, Ross, with you first, if you don't mind. So, I've just put here, how much do relationships matter to you? And how important do you believe your input is on players? Do you think it's important that we always go further than the pitch? I know we've already touched on this, but I just want you to elaborate, if you can, on how important do you believe that bond with a player and a person, and even parents as well, in the family unit? Because I know I've got a couple of stories as well where I've stayed with a family for a long time. I've had one who's been with me 8 years, and I think that's such you get a lot from it, don't you? And then I think if you want to elaborate on that, mate, and how important that is for you as well. Yeah,
massive. I think like goes back to that trust point. I think when you build that relationship with a player, they then start to trust you more. Absolutely. And they start to trust what you're telling them and believe and go, you know what, he really has that. They see that I really have their best interests at heart. And they think, actually, he does want the best for me. So I'm going to listen, and he's not trying to throw me under the bus, or he's not trying to make me worse. He actually cares about me, cares how I'm doing. I think a big thing as well, like I said, does it go further than the pitch? Yeah, of course it does. I think sometimes checking in on someone if they've had a bit of a bad game, or checking how the results have gone and things like that, checking about how their performance has gone, how the review's gone for an academy player as such. Because then, again, you're seeing that we care.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just turn up, do your hour, see you next week.
Yeah.
Because then you're not going to get the best out. The kid's not going to get the best out of the session, and they're not going to fill them with confidence thinking, oh, I just turn up there, he's not really bothered about me. It's about every kid matters who comes in through our doors, because then they see that.
It clicks at one point as well, doesn't it then? Like you say, if you have got someone who does struggle with that being coachable, I think a lot of that is, like you said, trust. It is a trust thing, isn't it? It all goes back to that. And if they don't trust you, you're not going to get nowhere. But then when they see, like yourselves, I'm sure, Mitch, you do that, and I'd like to say I do that myself, is where we go overboard from the hour. You get that, they might go home and go, oh God, like, that's right nice. Ross has said something about me on or you've sent their parent a text message saying, just want to let you know that I've done that a few times, just want to know they're unbelievable tonight, superb session, super proud of them. And even just like, even if you just share share a goal on Instagram or something, like anything, like just showing that overboard of interest, don't you? So, go to you, Mitch, anyway, now, if you want to go and elaborate on that.
I had a group session on Monday. Little Eddie is only 7, 8, well, it was 8th birthday, I think. And Dad messaged me saying it's his birthday today. So I literally just went to Asda, spent about £4 on some donuts.
Love that.
And just give every player a donut at the end of the session, just sang happy birthday. But like doing it, I think like we're all just good people. You know what I mean? Especially us three sat here. Like, we're good at coaching, but we're just good people, good men. Definitely. So I think for me, like you mentioned it then, going above and beyond, or just like that is such a small thing. Like it cost me £4 to get some donuts.
Love that.
Like, but
it's the thought though, isn't it?
And to that child, we've all sang happy birthday, all had a donut. Do you know what I mean? And it's like little stuff like that. He'll not get that at school.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to get that at school. His grassroots team potentially, maybe, not too sure. But for him, that like his dad were buzzing, and it's just like little stuff like that. Like obviously, I think one of the questions were like, does it matter to you, or what matter? Like, does relationships matter? Like to me, it's like near enough everything. Yeah. It's got to be
nothing without it, isn't it?
I think life is that. Life is about building relationships with people, because then, like, go back, knowledge is power again. You're building relationships, right? For example, Mitch. I did a session with Mitch the other week.
It looked great.
We talked about that De Bruyne cross, which I'd not really known about and seen about. Tried it a couple of times, really good. Going to try it to my game, and it's building relationships with people.
Of course,
I've got like Dave Caldwell. So I've had Theo, his lad, for a long time, and he talks to me about some of his boxers and boxing training, things like that. And being a good person is the most important thing. That's any fighters he brings in, you have to be a good person.
Yeah. And the thing is, you get the best out of everyone else as well, don't you? Anyway, because if you're an approachable person, you know that they're going to want to share things with you as much as you're going to want to share with them. So like I said, and if you can be at that point where, and I've always applied that in, away from coaching in my life, where every person's input has got value. Whether I don't even like to say whether you think you're better, you don't. There's never a point where you're above anyone. And that's why it's so important, whether they've got nothing to do with football or everything to do with football. There's always something that I believe someone can give you 100%. Just to make you have a little think and go, hang on a minute, that might be a good point. Yeah. And if you can be that way, and I think that's how we infuse our players to be, because you've got to do that, haven't you? Like you say, if you've got that sort of uncoachable arrogance, if you like, to come in and just be like, right, I know everything, well, you're getting nowhere. And that just keeps coming back to that point, doesn't it, about being coachable, respectful, wanting to be open and understand, the concept of what you're going to give them. And I think that's, like Ross says, I think it's so important. And, going on relationships, it's everything, isn't it?
Like you said there with like kid's birthday, after every session, we get our coaches to go and do a debrief with the player and the parent.
Love that.
Explaining what they've done really well, explaining what we've worked on, what they need to do a little bit more, how they can practice at home, but also reinforcing the good things that they've done and building confidence. And if there's something that they've struggled with during the session from maybe last week, we've kind of see it again, like similar to what we worked on, but it's kind of different topic, but we've seen what we've worked on, they do it well. It's really being positive and really elaborating and saying, you've done that really well, and explaining why they've done it well. And kind of, because when you go overboard with that kind of brilliant, yes, well done you, that's exactly what I'm looking for, they go, oh, yeah.
Felt good, that.
Yeah, feel really good, that.
Yeah.
That's how it brings confidence. Definitely. Because not only are we here to coach football skills and technique and things like that, but also it breeds confidence.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players, I think we'll talk for all three of us here, where we get a lot of people who will come to us and the parents will say, he's really struggling with confidence.
Oh, absolutely.
Really struggling with confidence.
Probably 90% of the messages, isn't it, we get?
Yeah. Whereas actually, when they come in, they're going to learn football, but they're going to get that confidence, that belief to go, actually, Mitch and Ryan, they've shown me how to do this in a game. Like in training, I can do this in a game. I can do it. I've shown I can do it. They believe in me, I can do it. I've shown them I can do it. They've said I can do it. I can do it on the pitch.
I'd like to go off tangent here, actually, and go back to what you just said there about confidence. Why do you think, this is a bit of a sub-question, why do you think that kids are, because I think now, the era that we're in, like in this year, for example, we're in an era where I think confidence is one of the biggest problems, isn't it? And like I feel like kids nowadays, again, I don't want to throw shade on kids, but I feel like that is the biggest issue. It's the mentality side of things, isn't it? There's not really that wanting to solve a problem as quick as possible, and I'm passionate about wanting to solve that problem, like where we are like that. That's what we build ourselves on, isn't it? Yeah. We're like, right, I'm sure if you've got an issue, if something breaks, something don't work, or a session goes wrong, bang, it's like swap it.
Solution straight
away. We know how to do that. We want to learn that process. Yeah. I feel like kids have always, have not got that in them anymore. I don't know whether it was COVID time. I think that had a massive impact on kids' development, definitely, because they were just in their own, isolated, a lot of things going on. But I feel like that's the main problem. And why is that? Why do you think?
I think there's a couple of different reasons that I believe. I think one, there's social media.
Absolutely, actually,
Kids are getting younger and younger and being on it younger and younger, and they're seeing.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
All they see is everybody doing unbelievable things. No one posts the mistakes that they make and things like that. So everyone thinks that, oh, he's better than me, does it all the time. But also, I'm going to throw a controversial one out there. I think grassroots coaches. And I understand.
Yeah. I get that.
I understand they're trying their best.
Got some beef here.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to. I'm going to.
It's interesting.
And I think also it kind of depends what age, but on the younger side, probably under 14 below, I think, which is where I mainly see the ones who really struggle with that kind of self-belief, is these grassroots coaches. And yes, a lot of the times they're just dads and things like that, and they're really trying their best. But I think sometimes they make it more about themselves.
Absolutely.
Winning rather than actually those kids improving.
Yep.
Because yes, I get everybody wants to win. I understand that. But you look at the academy system, yes, they want to win games, but when they get to a certain age, that's when it becomes important.
Of course.
Yep.
It's learning to win when you get to 15, 16, 17. That's when, because you're going to go play open age football. But some of the younger side, I've walked across fields and I've seen under nines getting screamed at,
It's mental, innit?
shouted at for making a mistake and giving a ball away and things like that. And my dad's chair of a sports club, and they've had an issue recently about kind of parents and the coaches, because coaches are saying that in front of other people that the kid's shit.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And you're going, what?
And do you know what?
That's no good.
Another thing I witnessed.
Just quickly on that. Then them kids who have heard that are going to go and then go, oh, he said this and this and this about you.
Yeah.
And then the kid's going, oh, everyone stops.
And do you know what gets me as well is like, when I go and watch a game at grassroots, the language is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Innit?
Kicks off
like
all
under
the time, doesn't it?
13s, like
Kicks off
effing and
all the
blinding,
time.
you're this, you're fucking that. It's like, what the hell am I watching here? Like, I can't remember who's just swearing that early doors on football
Honestly,
pitch. It just seems like that's
at
what
a
I mean.
younger age,
The
it's
respect barrier is probably not there. But then, like I said, going back to confidence, I definitely agree with what you said there about the, I suppose, ego and the more of a want to win too much attitude from a manager.
Yeah.
They want to post it on Facebook.
I know.
They've won 7-1.
That's it, innit, now? It's just the whole show off sort of thing,
Like
isn't it?
social media, but first thing you said,
They've watched Monday Night Football. They've seen Cara and stuff like that, and they're going. They think that. You know what I mean? They all think
exactly.
they're top, they're pet.
How do we solve that then? What do you think? What do you think like the solution would be? Because I do believe that I think the FA should definitely support grassroots coaches, I think, a little bit more. Because anyone can be one, can't they? Like you say, it is literally most of the time as well just a parent. And they've got a level 1 which takes 10 minutes to pass, and it's not really got any sort of understanding of relationships and things like that. I think that's... Could you vet that? Is that something you could vet?
Personally, I think so. I think they should be, because end of the day, grassroots is the whole of football.
Of course.
It's the most important part of football, because that's where everybody comes from.
Absolutely.
Everyone starts there,
Everyone
don't
starts there at some stage, plays grassroots football. So it's the most important phase. So I think FAs or county FAs should send a few people, random spot checks. If they go and send scouts, they can do random spot checks on the quality of how they're behaving on the sideline and helping coaches develop, because we talk about kids wanting to be coachable. I think grassroots coaching, other coaches need to want to be coachable as well and improve their coaching skills from other people more experienced and thinking, right, how is it going to impact that kid? How's it going to impact that kid? And a lot of the grassroots ages, the younger ones, they're non-competitive, but they keep a tally of their own scores and their own scores and their own scores. They think, oh, we've won the league. But actually, it's non-competitive. So I think they could be vetted. And I think, like I said, they send a couple of people out to different clubs to watch a few games and things like that and say, right, they report it back to the club. Right, we've seen this, this and this. We're going to put an open day on. We want this, this and this. We might come back again. We want to see improvements.
Definitely. No, I agree with that. And I think maybe going on that point, like you said, Ross, and I totally agree anyway, because like you said, they are parents, aren't they, Mitch? And you know, the low-level coaches probably not got that experience and just, kind of grab that level 1 and then they're off they go. It's scary to think that, like we spoke about this, didn't we, over message a little bit about the influence that we have in the small amount of time we have, but they're spending more time there. Kids are spending more time at their grassroots club, and we've got that hour. And I think then it comes back to that point, doesn't it, about being coachable, because that environment might be so toxic and very, come on, you win the game, and you hear what they're like, they are terrible. And then they come to us and we're dead open and honest and we want to be straight with them, but we want to be fair. And because we like we said, we've done the hard yards, haven't we, and got us badges and we've got us experience and we know what we wanted probably as a player and as a kid. We can give them that better environment. And it is, I think that's where the kids then get the confusion is, and it can happen even at home as well. We can have parents into that as well, where the discipline's different at home and then they come to you and it's like,
because that's for me, obviously, on that other question about why so many people low on confidence and stuff like that. I think for me, like words, like you don't realise impact words have on some young people. So like I've had it before where I'm on sideline speaking to a parent and a child, and like in front of the child, the parent will say he's low on confidence. But then to me, I'm like, why are you saying that in front?
Exactly,
Like the words are so powerful. And I think some people, like even grassroots coaches, you don't realise the impact you have with words. And obviously we might be a bit more like thick-skinned as adults and men, that especially in sport. Like I've been told I'm not good enough plenty of times, as we all probably have. You can sort of take it.
Of course, yeah.
But like these young people, like words are just crucial. You know what I mean? Like,
like you say, it's that resilience as well, though, isn't it? Like you said there, about you can take it. I think we can all do that now because we know what it's like. Like I said, we have been through it, don't get me wrong, but I think definitely is, just going back to my original point of younger kids now, I don't think they have that reasoning with it.
No.
You know, like when something's negative, I see it all the time. Like if
crumble, don't they?
Oh, we've all been through it, haven't we? Where we've done a drill and you take a player through it and they can't do it straight away. Oh, that's it, head's gone. Like, why? Oh, hang on, there's your first go. Like, relax, I'm here to help.
We do demos and we're shanking it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's
come on.
It happens to us as well.
Totally agree.
So that's that balance of both again, innit? Because like, I've got to be careful with your words, and I'm quite, like, probably like you two are as well, because I've seen your stuff. Like quite, not harsh, but direct sometimes me as a coach. And like you said, like assessment to someone, like you need to move the ball quicker. And it's like I've just said that the worst player in the world. But all I've said is I need you to move the ball faster.
You said like, you're going to go and kill the dog.
It's hard. Like, words matter, but sometimes as coaches you've got to be honest.
And got to be stern.
Like you said, there's some people now what just absolutely crumble.
That comes back to relationships though. And them players knowing actually he's not having a go at me. He's not because he thinks I'm rubbish. He's just trying to make me better and he's trying to push me. We want to, I mean, especially with us, with our older players, we really want to push them and almost try and break them to a certain extent and really make them strong and push them and go, right, you can handle it, and proving to themselves that they can do it as well. I think that's a big thing.
And I think that's a good point actually, Ross, because I always have a thing now where, especially when it comes to just more of a technical delivery, and we can go on to that anyway now, we'll go about structure. From a technical standpoint, from when I'm planning a session for someone, if I, like say, I think the original baseline is you've got to build that bond, haven't you? So like when we say about being stern as well, I think you know when to do that. You're not going to do that with a 6-year-old just coming fresh.
2 minutes in.
2 minutes in.
Come on. I mean, we're not doing that anyway, but you know what I mean? Like you won't be as hard as harsh as that. But I think with someone that you do know, and just going on to, like I say, structure is, I always want to make sure that, like you say, I think that's a great point you made about breaking them. And I think Neve Fisher's a good example for me. She's a girl who's been, I think she's probably the best learner I've ever come across. And I'm openly going to say that because she's unbelievable she started at 12-year-old, never kicked a ball, really new to the game. And within 4 years, she's now captain at under 16 level at United, played for Scotland national team. And I just think that can't be a coincidence that someone's done that in such short time. But every session I've had her, she's so open, she's so honest, parents are the same. And you get that really good, like I say, that really good open relationship with them where you can completely, talk about anything and you don't feel under pressure to do it. You can give a little bit, right, Neve, go on, I want a bit more now. And bam, it does it. Straight away, it's activated. And I just think that's massively important within you, being able to structure that in and get that.
It's good when parents buy into that as well.
Of course it is, yeah.
Because like I think obviously we all do one-on-ones and stuff, and sometimes you might have that with the player. You have the complete opposite relationship with the dad or the mum. So we could have that open, honest, raw relationship.
We're going to that now.
Yeah, and I thought that'd get brought up because then obviously the parents got to buy into that.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll touch on it in a minute, so I'll wait for your question.
Yeah.
But
I'll fly it in now. So from your I'll go Ross first then. So from experience, how do you think parent influences, how much do you think it actively helps development compared to hindering it? I think this is a hot topic, isn't it?
Here we go.
I know, this is where we get interesting now. But now,
Stay up for this one.
yeah, got it, aren't you? I mean, listen, I mean, like I say, from your point of view, what do you see first? And
I think
follow.
It's tough because each parent has their own beliefs. Like we have our belief in terms of coaching, parents have their belief in terms of how they want to bring their kids up. So it's hard. I think you've seen good cases and bad cases of both. I mean, you look at Beckham. how much his dad pushed him and pushed him and pushed him and pushed him. The Williams sisters, their father, pushed him. And they've seen the rewards of that. But how many do that and don't see the rewards, and then their relationship breaks down? And further down the line, that kid, when they get older, might lose that relationship and think, you know what? I wasted my whole childhood of being pushed and pushed and pushed. So I think it's finding that balance. I think me personally, my mum and dad, they were excellent with me in terms of when they didn't think I'd worked hard enough, they'd tell me. I think that's one thing that is a non-negotiable, that you should work hard and everything. But if I've had a bad game, or not so good game, they'd never berate me for that. We'd go through the process of why. Why did we prepare right? Was it just one of those days where you're making wrong decisions?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it and go, right. And then we'll go on the field and go and practice it.
Cool, yeah.
And improve it.
I think that's probably the best model, isn't it? You know, I have a thing now where I say where something's either positive and you can still elaborate on that positive and let's use that going forward. It's like your strength. But then the other side of it isn't a negative. It's what can we improve? How do we make that better? How do we bring that up the ladder? And I always have like a bit of a ladder system. And so we're not taking steps down. We're just going to take, it might only be one at a time, you know, especially for the younger kids. So visualize it. It's like, right, we're here now. We've not got it yet. We took one step up. We are better than where we were. But we're not where we want to be. So we're just go to one at a time. And I think
seen a lot of players play under a lot of pressure as well.
Yeah.
Because they really want to impress their parents. They really want to do them proud because they feel that their parents are giving everything to them and they want to really try and give that back. So I think sometimes they put a little bit too much pressure on themselves. But also, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Of course, yeah.
So it's always hard to judge. But you see the ones who are really supportive and back them and work with them. I think they almost have to be a team, parents and the child, if they want to progress and develop. You got to be a team. Yes, your father and son or mum and son, you gotta work as almost a team, as a collective.
Yeah. Because like you said, respectfully, we're there, like I said, we keep going back to that, only an hour a week or 2 hours a week or something. We're not going to have that massive impact on their own life, but we can put things in what might be then controversial back on their what's happening at home. And I think it's good that say we're not just open and honest from a player perspective. If parents can be like with us, I find that really comfortable me when people tell me stuff, and you know, and it's a little bit deeper sometimes because it's like, well, at least I know now and I can work off that.
I think you'll probably agree with me, Image. I think parents do need to push though. They do need to kind of be harder and really challenge them.
I do as well, yeah.
I think you posted this the other day because there's a lot of stuff that I kind of relate with you. It was raining. And you get people trying to cancel. Is it still on tonight? It's raining. And you're going, you should be going, get out. Because sometimes you don't know if it's going to be the kid or the parent. Sometimes the kid will go, oh, it's raining. The parent needs to go, listen, get out there and go and practice and get going. I think the way life's gone now and the world's gone is we've come a little bit kind of softer and go, oh, it's okay.
I think we are.
100%.
Like with illness going to school, my mum like 2 privacy won't get to school.
Exactly.
Got no choice.
You get no choice, but I think they do need to push because if that kid's saying, right, that's my dream, I want to achieve it, as parents, I'm not a parent, obviously Mitch is, and it's saying, right, if that's your dream, I'll help you, but you got to push yourself as well. If you're not doing it, I'm going to tell you. Because I see a lot of players who they wait for the one session a week with us to work on the stuff we've worked on, and then don't go and practice themselves.
Absolutely.
As a parent, I'm saying, go out and practice. Get out there, go and do it. But it also has to come from within. If they're not doing it, you've got to be onto them.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it is massive that. It is. And I think with parents as well, there's a balance between like that, pushing them. But I don't know if this is one of your pet peeves, but it's just something that proper winds me up when I'm coaching. When you're coaching and a child looks up at the sideline. And I've said some stuff.
It's back to what we said. It's the approval, isn't it? It's trying to look good for them.
That little nod outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gets to me because, and I've said stuff in the past, like in front of a parent, like, I'm the one coaching, not your dad. And sometimes I think that's the tipping point for me. Where I'm like, there's something more going off there. Like, and I get when you score a good goal, you might score a top bin in a session, you want to like look at your dad and like get that little nod. I get that. There's an element of it being a kid, isn't there?
Of course, yeah.
And there's sometimes where I'm doing stuff and I'm doing a session, kid does something wrong and I can see him looking over.
Panicking.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if you've ever got it playing football, but like there's some kids what I know dread getting in a car after a session.
Absolutely.
Or after a game. You know what I mean? And that to me is just, again, there's a balance between going, right, son, that weren't good enough.
Yeah.
But I think to me, when you're pushing them, say if it's just genuine mistakes, I think they're acceptable.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I think when you're pushing someone, it's got to be on hard work.
Yeah.
So like for me, if obviously I've got a son, he's obviously only one, like, but if he were never working hard, that'd be when I'd step in. Like, listen, you've got to be working hard. Whereas if we're just like, he's missed an open net, that's just like, listen, son, I've done loads of them in past. It's all right.
Exactly,
You know what I mean? There's an element of like stepping in a right way, going, listen, you're not worked hard. That can't happen.
Yeah.
But not like, oh, you just misplaced a pass. You know what I mean? There's
Totally agree,
there's a bit of both, isn't there?
I think following up on that as well, I'll give you an example of like what I had in past few years ago is when one of the parents I had was literally shouting across the pitch while I was mid-coaching.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that was
wild.
that is the wild disaster.
So
isn't
they
it?
pay you to coach. That don't make sense.
What's going on here? I felt like going and get my jacket off and get it in. I was like, do you want to do it? It was, honestly, I was like, wowzers. And it proper threw me though, because I've never had it that. It was quite extreme as well. We're talking like every few minutes. And I'm like, I had to actually pull the player to a side and say, look, I want you to try and, really engage with me. I know it's difficult.
Yeah.
And we're getting to a point where the player was actually getting quite upset about it off his own dad.
Not
It's
surprised.
like, that for me is just too much, isn't it? Like you say, you've got to put in that priority of hard work. Because I have a little comment, what I said to the players as well, is that when you work hard, your success is from that. It's not so much you can't do the technical, let's say, skill around what drill we're doing. It's more like how your application is. If we can build that allows you to build the technical bond with them and bring that up. But without that, it's just and like you said, going back to parents, it can be an hindrance, can't it? Because it stops them wanting to work hard. It's like, oh God, them shoulders drop, head goes. It's very difficult.
Body language.
I know. You're fighting two players then, two people, because you've got parents to sort of deal with, and then that.
Do you ever have one in yours? I don't know if you notice it, but where if the parent's not there, they play a bit different.
Yeah.
Or if they are there, they play.
Absolutely.
Like, we noticed that with ours. Like if someone else brings them, if it's a grandparent because they're on holiday, or you notice a difference. And that to me again, it's like alarm bells start ringing, thinking, why are they playing so different now?
Yeah.
Why do they have so much more freedom now?
That's the word I was about to say, freedom.
Freedom, like it's just. I'm like, whoa, like that
Shackles
to me.
are off.
Yeah, that to me is like that. There's a difference there.
You probably find they have the better sessions
Yeah.
as well.
Definitely, yeah. I think, and I just want to follow on with this as well. It's just because I know you just recently turned a parent, Mitch, and obviously congrats on that. I know he's around year old now.
Weighing all.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Little girl aren't weighing now.
Love that. Yeah, so
Five side soon.
But so like from this point of view, what would you say the most important traits as a parent is to have if you've got a player? Let's skip ahead a few years here and say we've got a player, Ross, who's at a decent standard. What sort of like attributes, let's call it, would you want to have as a parent? If you could create the perfect parent, what would that look like for you both?
For me, and this is hard, like managing expectations a little bit. Like, listen, I'm not saying some players I coach might not play for an academy, or they might, I don't know.
Yeah.
They could get to that point. But I think some parents have like an expectation of the child to be like the next Messi.
Yep.
And to me, that...
It's like it's too high.
Yeah, it's like you're setting a promise that's not going to...
Yeah, massively.
I'm not saying it's unachievable, by the way, but you're setting, like we said earlier, it's like 0.1%.
Absolutely.
And to me as a parent, like, and you mentioned earlier about like washing cars and being best. Listen, I don't give a shit what my child does as a job. Like, as long as he's works hard at what he does,
passionate,
he's happy,
yeah.
He's, you know what I mean? And I think for me, some parents have like I said, not an unachievable expectation, but an expectation where like they expect them to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not true. We're not. Us three sat here, we have off days. We have days where we can't be arsed. We have days where we're full of energy. We have days, you know what I mean? And I think for me, as a parent, well, obviously he's only one, but I just want to manage his expectations in life. Listen, son, as long as you work hard, you've got a smile on your face, you're respectful, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think for me, that's just the thing for some parents. They expect stuff from the kids that they're not going to get. You know what I mean?
And leading on from that, I think we spoke about it just off air a minute ago about how we'll talk about this if you want to, about when I see this a lot, to be fair, I don't know if you two do, but when a player's got to an academy, like it's that sort of like, that is like the top of the tree kind of thing, and they already feel like they're there.
I think they've made it
already. Then if
already.
something isn't going to plan, it's like, oh my God, why is that? They're all good enough. They're already there. And it kind of gets like, it's probably going back to the ego thing, isn't it? About, my player plays in the academy, and that's it now, they've made it.
But
I mean,
again,
you know that also well, don't you, as well?
There's more
I know.
Steps.
It's
And I think for me now as well, I don't know if you've seen, listen, another controversial opinion here, stirring pot a bit.
Do it.
Like I feel like if you're in an academy, every young kid sets an Instagram account up.
Yeah.
It's like the real stuff, isn't it? Again?
For under eights at Chef Wednesday. Like, it's like, again, I think it's a parent's thing. Just manage their expectation a little bit. Like,
work hard in silence. Get your head down. Graph.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? But yet they have an Instagram account there. They're telling everyone at work, oh, I just got into this place. And I get it. It's a good...
Yeah, it's a proud moment.
It's a good moment. Absolutely. You have your picture at stadium, I get it. Like, I've been there before, but for me, it's just like... It's like be all and end all being in an academy when I think that's just so false.
If it falls down, then where do you go from there?
Yeah. Absolutely. And it has done, hasn't it? We've experienced that.
Yeah. I mean,
I've had people come out of academies as well and seen that.
To me personally, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know
exactly what it's like, and you come out of there and you think your dream's completely over. And then it's having that support network around you to then build up again. And I think this modern day, I see all these parents going, he's got to be in an academy. I need to get him into an academy. Yes, it's great to be in an academy. You know what I mean? The academy system is very changed. It's very good now for younger players and things like that. But it's not a be all and end all.
Absolutely.
I didn't have a scholar at 16. There's a lot of players now. You look at a lot of players now who go on to the football league. A lot of them have come from non-league.
Yeah.
And they go and
that's
play.
The difference between obviously like me and Ross now. I have come from a scholarship background, but yet he plays at a way higher level.
Yeah.
So that just shows straight away the difference. It doesn't actually.
It's like we know Alex Brown, don't we? I know to mention him. But like Brownie were in an academy for years, wasn't he? I always remember him at school being at United, and then he's dropped out, and obviously he's worked his way up, hasn't he? And still is doing so. I think that experience of playing at them clubs, you know, whether it be National League North and so on, even one below that, I don't think like Worksop. I don't know Worksop Town have been promoted, but I can't remember the one below that now. But you know, working through the ranks is not a bad thing, and I think that's something what people. I suppose parents, going back to them, is they don't really understand that system as well. No. You think the academy is literally all it is, and it's if they're not there, why are they not there? Honestly. You know, and that's like you say, it's setting that really, I suppose, unrealistic expectation of them to say, right, we need to be there. If we're not good enough. Yeah. And that for me is crazy because, like you say, when they drop out, then how do they feel? Yeah. And I think that will make that feeling even worse.
Yeah, I obviously do Zoom calls as well. I did a group one other week and I said, like, I want you to all write down a goal and put it in the Zoom group chat. Must have had 5 people say, get in an academy. But like, I get it's a goal, but that's not like the end. That's not it. Like, do you know what I mean? They actually want more than that deep down.
What a lot of parents don't realise as well is, yes, they'll be in an academy, but you know, in that academy system, them obviously they got a whole squad of 16, but the coach at the academy, they'll go, right, there's 1, 2 and 3 are our main priority who we think have the most potential to push on.
I've heard that even told to the players.
Yeah. Then they don't realise that a lot of them will be there
brushed aside
to kind of make up the numbers for the others to develop and improve.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, if you do manage to catch up with those kind of 3 who are maybe they're looking to push the most, then brilliant. But parents need to be wary of that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like all these development things. I've got a big thing on them as well because when I was younger, it was literally just black or white. You either in an academy or you weren't. You're at grassroots or you're at an academy. And if you're lucky to get a trial, it's 6 weeks. If you don't get in, you don't get in.
Exactly.
Whereas now there's like, even my stepbrother, he's at Wednesday ETC. There's no end time frame.
Yeah.
You just train. There's no like, after 6 weeks, we'll let you know. You just go every week and that's it.
Is he paying to be there?
I'm not too sure actually because some of them
it's ETCs, isn't it?
Some that like
some of them do, don't they? They charge you.
Places like that, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think there is some, but then it's like it's just a money making scheme.
So you're not actually like there's no time frame. There's no like progression path. It's just you're just there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's a new sort of era of that coming in now with the JPL. Yeah. I mean, that's another talking point, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll be here all day if we talk about that. But
part 2.
Exactly, we will do. Yeah, definitely. I think this has been brilliant. But no, just going to move on quickly because obviously of time. So I want to just speak about this one as well because it just goes a bit more into detail. I think we're going to do a part 2 definitely, and we'll talk about more on structure and things like that, and actual practical delivery. I think that'd be another great episode. But just going off sort of like, you know, the bonds that you're having with people and the relationships, I think this fits in pretty well. And Mitch, we've obviously spoke about this off air as well, about low standards. So I've put here, when a player shows low standards, should us as coaches step in and be tougher or back off and let a player figure it out?
Could be here ages.
I know, we've only got 10 minutes left. We need to quick here. I'll go Mitch first, because I know you're passionate on this.
Where do I start here? This, to me, is like I won't say I struggle with it, it's just something I'm trying to learn as a coach as well.
Constantly reflecting, would you say?
Obviously, like we said earlier, being coachable, I think we all still try and learn stuff and take ideas off different people. For me as a coach, this is something that I don't know if I need to get better at, something I need to learn more of, but I've had instances as a coach in Carlton coaching where a child comes, the mom or dad messages me the night after, the day after, and goes, "You don't want to come back because you felt like you were too harsh." So it's I could be here ages and I don't know the right way to answer it, but for me, like, if you're paying for a session, so whatever's prices are, it could be as little as £2 or as high as 200. If you're paying for a session, like, you should want my honesty, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Like, and if people don't like that, I'm not going to change the way I am.
Yeah.
So for me as a coach, obviously we all follow like certain structures, certain like philosophies. For me, it's honesty as well. Like,
philosophy, your
and
belief.
if they're paying for a session, I've got to be honest.
Yep.
Now, if they don't like that as a child, or the parent doesn't like it, then I'm sorry, but I'm not going to change the way I am.
Yeah, I get that.
It's hard for me because I'm not. That's how I'm like. And I know you two are honest
Yeah,
as
we're
well.
very similar, yeah.
Not even just in
We're
coaching.
all very
just in
high
life.
energy here, aren't we? Like, I think when I watched your 2 sessions, I think I'd say we've all got similarities in that department, 100%,
energy
where we're
and-
dead passionate.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes back to, I think, it's the passion. Whereas I think again, it's the parent thing where they don't understand that and the kid doesn't understand what that looks like because in their world, they've probably not had that until they've seen your session.
Yeah.
So that's where it's really tough, isn't it? Because they don't get what it means. They're not understanding why are you so like, come on, like, I want the best for you here. Like, they're like, oh my God, this is a bit worrying.
Some love it.
Yeah,
Like, I have some, like,
absolutely.
"Oh, Mitch, I fucking love when you're like that." Like, I love it. You're like, you get some, but you can tell they're bought in. Like, kids bought in. Like, and you get some what come and it's just like, I've never had this before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a difficult one.
No enthusiasm there of wanting to improve or get better. And
Yeah.
She done it and all.
Yeah,
And again, I'm not here slagging like parents off but then the child that doesn't like it, you speak to the mum or dad and you can tell why.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I don't know if you have it. Like, do you have any confident players where you know full well if you spoke to their mum or their dad, you'd be like, I bet he's confident. I bet he's uplifting. I bet he's energetic.
Well, they come from that parent, don't they? And that's
that
where
environment, innit?
Exactly, and that's where I think you know, like you speaking about your parents' influence, Ross. I think that shows why you're like you are as well. Because I would say the same, you know. And I'm sure you know, you've got great parents as well, Mitch. I know personally, but I think that's an environment we're bred in, and we work off that, don't we, as well? And like you say, it's always going to be a tough thing for us. I think where we're always going to be competing in a way with what their influence is like, because we have got such minimal time with them. But we'd like to say that our impact is massive. Yeah. You know, and I just think it's always going to be a talking point, which is always going to be very hard to handle. Because I just think it's, like I say, could be here all day thinking of the solution to it and whatnot. But what do you think? Have you got any more on that?
I think with standards, even with my grassroots teams, I say to them, my standards and expectations of you lot are up here because of the belief that I have in you and I see the potential in you. But my expectations and standards are only up here because of the standards you lot have set for yourself.
Yep.
You've set your standards up there, so I'm keeping them up there and letting you know when you drop below them. And I think one thing as well, I think when you sometimes get players who they have low standards on themselves, they don't really work hard, they don't really push. I'm gonna say, right, well, it might sound really old school. We'll run.
Absolutely.
That was me as a kid.
That
was me as a kid. If you're not going to work hard and you're not going to graft and not really push and want to be better and improve, we'll run.
Yeah, I did that with a kid last Saturday.
And I hate it.
I had to.
Even though they're running a game,
and
I always say to them after, do you think I enjoy making you run? Because I don't. I want to coach you. I enjoy coaching you. You're paying me to coach you, not to just watch you run.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to do that, then we're going to run and it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard.
Just following on from that, I have kind of a vision thing. So I've got a whiteboard in my unit, in me and Dobit, and I'll say to them, right, where's your vision on this scale? And they'll always put it on the end. And I'm like, right, if you want to be there, you're working at this point at the minute. So you're miles away.
Yeah.
You know, this is what you've got to think about and this is what you've got to do. And it's got to come from all them things what we spoke about already of passion, respect, you know, desire to want to get better, open-minded and things like that. And when their vision is up there, you've got to give that reality, haven't you? And I think that's important. Like I say, when we go back to the original question, which is low standards, I can't sit there and accept that from a player who, especially if they're anything, again, it's like I say, it's different when we're coaching younger kids when they're starting up, you know, your 6-year-old. It's a different approach. We know that. Let's put the bracket around academy level, right? And that level. You can't accept that, can you? And it's like, how are you accepting that for yourself if you want to be this player? And that's the, it's probably the internal argument within the session you kind of always having with them, isn't it? Like, come on, this is not enough. I know, and like you said, it's a great point that you know they're better than that because that's why you're there.
Yeah.
You've got to have something about you to be an academy player.
It's like that thing, what you mentioned then. There was something I seen the other day, like even losers have goals. Like a loser can have a goal.
Definitely.
The difference is of people achieving them or people getting close to him is that bit before achieving it, which is graft, which is working hard, which is being coachable, which is learning. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like you say, you sometimes have to remind people, listen, like, what's your goal?
We spoke the other week about a lad who I've had for quite a few years, George Cunningham. When I say standards are through the roof, unbelievable.
Brilliant.
His standards are ridiculous.
Yeah, and then I've had that. He obviously come with me just for a couple and went back to, and I had it as well. Like,
honestly,
exact same.
Relentless.
Wants it every time.
Anything you do, he's 100% all in.
Love that.
100% all in. Like, I've not seen a player with an attitude like it. The way he pushes himself to his max. Every drill, wants to do it as good as he can. And that's why he's gone on and improved so much. Like, the way his attitude is, and again, coachable, takes on information, wants to put it into practice, and we'll try it, and we'll try it, and we'll try it. And he never rests, like, in terms of, won't go, oh, I've done that. Like, he went and left Sheffield, went signed for Hull, and didn't rest on his laurels. He sets a target, right, I want to go and play for 16s. He goes play 16, go, right, I want to go again. What's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing?
Complete growth mindset, that, isn't it? Though?
And his standards are up here. And that's why you see players with the highest standards. And you see it in interviews when they do the Q&As and stuff on Sky Sports, and they go, right, like, who's the time? He's relentless. His standards are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that you see it reflected on the pitch.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I say, it's sentimental, isn't it, for them? They need that. I think that's such an important factor of any level of player, even like when they are young, is just to understand what improvement is. And we could go way back to make this really, really simple and just go, how do you get better at anything? And I'll even speak about school. About the more you put energy into things and the more you really go, right, let's just try and climb one step at a time. I have that massive thing about like a staircase. And I'm like, if we're taking, one step up, we just go one at a time. It's not a problem. We don't have to jump the flight of stairs. We're taking his time with this. But just understanding that is going to take time, I think is difficult for players to get.
Yeah.
And like you say, when you've got a player like George, for example, and like I say, I can probably represent that with Neve, is there's nothing, even if they make a mistake, it's like, boom, straight on again. We'll go again. If anything, they want to go again quicker and more because they're like, I'm not happy I got that wrong. And I know I'm better than that, and I'm going to make sure I'm better than that. And then even though I'm already there and I've cracked that, right, what's next?
Yeah, when me and Ty came in the other week, and we were like, me and Ty did like 2 poor sets, like, we want to go again.
Yeah, no,
just relentless.
That's how you've got to be. That's why you're at the level you're at as well, and I think that's important to mention because it's got to be there permanently, hasn't it?
It's not getting like pissed off in a way where you're like, it's like your uncontrollable anger. It's like you're just pissed off because like, I can do that better.
Yeah,
you've set the standard for yourself.
Yeah, and you know what you're capable of. And I think some players need to hold themselves in higher regard at times, but understanding and being realistic and being open with themselves and going, am I there? Am I pushing hard enough? Do I need to be better? Right, let me focus more. A lot of it comes down to concentration as well.
Of course it does. Lads, been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Mitch.
Thank you, Ryan.
Cheers, Ross. Appreciate
Cheers,
it, brother.
Nice.
Thank you, everyone, for obviously watching. We are going to probably go again at this. I've absolutely loved it, and I've got so much more to talk about, aren't we? I know we've not even got to hear it. So, yeah, definitely. Listen, we'll go again, absolutely. And I think it's been, like I say, it's been a pleasure. I think it'd be great for people watching this from a parent perspective, player perspective, or even coaches. I think it'd be great for all them things. So, cheers, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Well, legends, lads. Well done. That was brilliant, that, weren't it? I told you.
That went so quick.